Hey, Rock on Beer viewers, don't get your hopes up. This isn't the rant video. Although someone did invoke the release the rant uh, clause in the last video, so I don't know. Maybe Alex Claus will give you something for your under your Christmas tree this year. But yeah, I actually recorded this. So it's a homebrew day. Happy homebrew day. I actually recorded this video a different day, um, and yeah, I was watching I was watching that back because I needed to see something in it. Um, yeah, I needed to see something in it, and then I realized how absolutely awful it was. So I'm breaking my rule of just recording and uploading, and I'm just gonna we're gonna do a re-release. We're gonna reboot the previous video. Most of the same stuff is gonna get talked about. Don't worry, but without the well, let's just say that there was a I used this mortar and pestle to crack something, and I beat on it, and I think I repeatedly said. Headphone users, and yes, I downloaded an app just to be able to do that. I think that was one of the things that was I wasn't gonna listening to it back. It really it shook the camera and it was loud and it was a stupid thing to do. But the reason I was doing that is look here, look I got homebrew. I'm trying to bring the wear down the keg of this is my dry rye stout, um, and this is one of the beers from the rant video because it's still good, but it's a great recipe. It's an amazing recipe. I've brewed it. I don't know how many times I've brewed it now, but this one I did something weird with the hops and the yeast, and it is awful. I only have two of my three beers that I've brewed um, in the last 6 months. I've still got them on tap. This one and then the IPA that led to this monstrosity. It's more drinkable now. It was almost I hated it. Not as much as I hated the IPA, but I hated this for quite a while. But over the months, it's kind of faded. It's gotten less weird, weird fruit ish, weird fruitly. And the IPA never got good, so I don't know. I might have to just dump whatever's left of that out. But this one is actually drinkable now, so I'm trying to get rid of it. Anyway, the reason I had this thing out and was banging away on this because I'm. Oh, also on that video, I kept saying that I'm going to brew this weekend. Obviously, this weekend is Christmas. I meant Friday because I have Friday off, which is what I was thinking of brewing on Friday. I'm not 100% sure about it because we might actually leave early for where we're going for to my wife's parents. Because it's not like guys know where that is. It's not like you're gonna follow me. Yeah, we're doing my wife's parents' house for Christmas, and I might actually leave early. So I don't know if I will brew or not. But the whole last video was like a choose your brew adventure of the fact that I have 5 kilos of Maris Otter that I need to use because I need the container that it's in because I have a you hear that Santa sack off to the left there. I got a full sack of brand new grain and I really want to get it out of the sack. You know what I'm talking about. I want to get into that container that Maris Otter is currently occupying. And to do that, I want to brew with it. So the plan had been to brew a stout with it because it's Maris Otter, and Maris Otter is good in stouts. And I have had these things kicking around for 18,000 years. I've had these. I've had these since before I was born. These were passed down to me um, by my ancestors. Uh, so I've been meaning to brew with these things for a long, long time. These are Tonka beans. They're like they're Tonka beans. Oh my god, they smell so cool. So if you've never had these things before, they smell like vanilla and like they smell like spicy vanilla, like cuminy, not cumin, that's the wrong, like like cinnamon, like cinnamony vanilla, like sarsaparilla type thing. They smell really cool. And I've had a couple of beers made with tonka beans. One of them is, as I remember it, one of the best beers I've ever had, and I can't tell you, I think it was an Evil Twin beer. It was from also 18,000, probably 17, 18,000 years ago. I think I had it in another life. But I remember that being like the flavor of it was insane. So I've always meant to do a tonka bean stout. So that was what I was going to do. So I was looking up doing a tonka bean tincture online, and the guy I found who was the tonka bean expert, he obviously showed how to do a tincture. Here's the tincture right here that I started a couple days ago. But he was like, "Oh, you can't use this stuff. You got to let it sit for 6 months before you can use it, or else it doesn't extracts the flavors super slowly, tonka beans." And I'm like, "Oh, frig, what? All right. Well, I was gonna brew with this. I mean, I was gonna be using it in just a couple weeks because I'm just gonna dose the keg with it." And so I was like, "All right. Well, I'm gonna make it, obviously." And then, I mean, it looks pretty decent already, and this is only a couple days. So I'm thinking like, so I wasn't going to use it. Long story. Let's get this. Long story short, I've made this. It's doing stuff. It's working off to the side there. So I also had just recently listened to the Brulosophy podcast where they did all the where they did all the whatchamacallits, they did the reviews of all the homebrewed best bitters or standard bitters, or I can't remember, English bitter, and man, that they sounded good. And Maris Otter is, what do you know, the main component in those too, or historically the main component. And it kind of goes along with my just wanting to make some just drinkable beers. So I was actually thinking that, having a bitter on kind of sounds better than having maybe a thick, adjuncty, very like this on. So I leave it up to you. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to brew. I might not be able to brew till next week anyway. So I guess that gives more time for voting. Should I do a bitter, or should I do the stout? Obviously, I can just do this. I'm gonna put a bunch of shit in the stout, so I can just do the stout with whatever other grain I've got laying around. So I'm leaning right now. I'm leaning towards the bitter. It's also easier to do, easier than messing around with this stuff, and I wanted to do coffee and all that stuff. So I'm leaning myself towards the bitter. But if everybody is crazy about the idea of me putting this chunky bean, this tonka salsa in a beer, then maybe you can convince me. I don't know. Let me know. Yeah. So what else? What do we got? What do I got? I got going on. I've obviously we're wrapping up. Today's my last day. No, tomorrow's my. Did I take tomorrow off? I'm gonna have to check my calendar. I know I have Friday off. It's Wednesday. For once, I'm actually recording this on Wednesday. So and then I have all the days off between Christmas and New Year's. So I've got some plans. I plan to brew. I went out and bought. Oh, crap! I didn't bring it in with me. It's in the car. I bought a heater from my other fridge that I've got out here now. So now I can actually temp control both fridges, also heating wise, which is important because it's cold as here right now. So anything that I want to do needs at least some heating, which what I want to do and what the Santa sack over here is for is to do a big batch of Kolsch with 2 different yeast strains and try that out. So that's going to be my goal for between Christmas and New Year's, is to brew that. And it'll be the first time I'll brew a full batch on the G40, which I do own now. You've never seen it. It's never been officially put out on stage before, but it does exist. It's over there. I had to defrost it yesterday because there was like ice inside of it. So that's how cold it is here. It doesn't usually get this cold. It's a weird winter. So yeah, I'm gonna be working in the brew house, trying to get things cleaned up. Gonna try and get some new lights up in here. One of the reasons that I hate brewing in the winter in Denmark is because it gets dark at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the light isn't very great out here, so makes it tougher. So gonna do some lighting work. Gonna do some Keyser work over the winter. But oh yeah, also I'm rebuilding some of my kegs because some of the kegs have some of the kegs that I have, the hardware on them is old as and I have to move my mouth when I push the button, or else it doesn't look right. It's stupid. Anyway, I'll just blur over my mouth in post because I'll be doing a lot of post editing. I just realized that I'm missing a part. Well, that kind of sucks. Anyway, I bought some. I saw that I was buying some Christmas presents on Amazon, and I saw that Amazon had ball lock posts for super cheap, like both gas and beer. Oh no, I'm not missing it. It's right there. It's just wonky in there. They had both of them for the same price as a single one from the place I usually order stuff from. So I decided to give them a shot. And of course, as you can imagine, they are cheap. They're weird. Like the poppet isn't as I am used to. You kind of got to drop it in there and then put the spring in. I haven't actually tested these. What I'm probably gonna do is whatever I end up brewing. You can see it doesn't even seem to. I mean, you gotta screw it down onto to get the tension right, but it doesn't. I don't know if that's actually gonna hold any pressure or anything. But I'm planning on doing I have a keg that I've kind of set to the side as a fermentation keg. I bought all the stuff to start trying to ferment in kegs because I have a ton of kegs. Way more kegs than I have fermenters, and way more kegs than I could ever actually serve from. So I bought stuff, floating dip tubes and spunding valves and stuff to do keg fermentation, and then I went on my hiatus. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to install these on the fermentation keg because that's one of the ones that doesn't have fittings because I tossed them because they were old and broken, very broken, and I figure I'll try these cheapos out on them and see if they can even hold any pressure, because like an active fermentation, that's going to be okay. If it leaks a little bit, I'll both be able to see it pretty quickly, and because it's fermenting and pushing gas out, the leak isn't going to be too bad, and it's not going to do anything like if there was actual finished beer in it and it was like leaking beer out or anything. So yeah, I'll do that. I think I'll probably, whatever we decide that we're going to brew, whenever I brew it, I think I'm going to try and do it in the keg. I got to check what yeast I have. I think I have an 04 laying around. That might also be a factor in what I brew. Who knows, guys? Man, I thought that I could do this quicker because I'd already done it once, but still went back up to 15 minutes. All right. Merry Christmas. I might have another video or a live stream that I'm gonna do maybe Friday that might come out, but if not, then Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. And yeah, cheers. we'll be doing. I've got a bunch of ideas for some videos. We're gonna make 2023 our year. That always works out for people, right? Cheers.